Funko is finished. Finally, hobbyist stores can rest easy because this useless garbage will no longer clog store shelves. It will not take space away from actual games and from actual products. GameStop can't just have rows and rows of this stuff anymore. It is finished. Funko has warned investors the company might not survive another year. Sales down 14%. Total debt increased 31%. Cited tariffs and changes in the retail industry. How about the fact that nobody fucking likes these things? Like, I remember when I first started seeing them and instantly recognized that they were just cheap junk that was just shoved on store shelves, just clogging up space, that was bought by idiots who don't know the first thing about collectibles. They were just cheap collectibles that people who weren't enthusiasts picked up at GameStop. That's it. Like, they had no quality to them. They were just a fad that people thought were going to be some nostalgic thing. Yeah, I'm nostalgic for them, all right. Nostalgic for thinking these things were stupid. Like, this is by far, like, I think one of the worst trends of the past decade, right? Funko was absolutely bottom of the barrel, just garbage. Okay. So it's not even like the figurines themselves were that bad because it's like with any other product, right? You just don't buy them. But when you actively see them clocking up like entire shelves, when you see like rows and rows of like the same figurine, when they could just put something more interesting there, when you see just how like people insist that these are like the next big thing and you just kind of roll your eyes at it because you know it's not true. Like, this is one of those crazy, crazy trends that we saw, especially considering how much more popular and successful Amiibo have been. That's something that a lot of people haven't talked about when it comes to the figurine market, specifically the towards the life market, is that Amiibo severely limited their release schedule. They came out, people acquired them, and they released new ones. They did not like clog up store shelves because Amiibo are not and never have been Nintendo's core business model. Oh, by the way, these new Metroid Amiibo are sick. I still have not unwrapped them because I just love the box so much. But uh, like, Amiibo is not Nintendo's primary product, and as a result of that, they can do limited releases. They don't um, release figurines people don't want. They don't. They tie it in with actual other things they're doing, right? So this came out just before Metroid Prime 4 did. This came out to promote Bonanza. Like, you don't need these things, but they're nice to have. They're nice to look at. It's things you enjoy having because it shows what a big fan you are. I think Funko just fundamentally misunderstood this. Is that like Funko was the figurines were their primary business model, and so they had to sell as many of them as possible, and they just clogged up store shelves with like every meme character and every single thing they could get their hands on. I think they tried like selling one based on like Quentin Tarantino and like real people and stuff like that. And it's just like there were so many times I would see a Funko and I'm just like, I don't know who the character is or who this individual is. Like, they tried so hard to like meme certain characters into relevancy, and I think that was a big reason why it was pushed so hard, was to try and create the illusion of popularity, the illusion that Western IPs were successful, when more and more that like people were leaning towards like Japanese and Nintendo and anime and manga stuff. Like, Funko was just bottom of the barrel, just trash, and always was. And what we're seeing now is kind of a market correction because it had that brief fad period where people really liked it, people really enjoyed it, people thought it was cool, people thought it was excellent, like people thought this was the next big thing, and in actuality, it was just a fad. And now that it's a fad, the company is imploding, and they just can't keep themselves relevant. And that's been true for a long time. But what the market correction from this is going to be glorious because GameStop's not going to be able to sell them anymore. They're going to be selling higher quality Pokemon plushies now. Like you're not going to see these like on store shelves. You're going to see like Amiibo doing better. You're going to see like, things people actually want, you know, like and Funko is just never going to recover. There's never going to be a return of this useless bullshit. Okay? And I couldn't be happier. Funko is just was just one of the worst things to ever hit nerd culture over the past decade. Like it was such a forced trend and it was such a meme and it was such like a fad that like I am very very happy to see it going the way of the dinosaur and seeing it just evaporate into nothingness. This was an absolute train wreck. I suppose we could look at the comments here and see if we can. It's see Funko posted 215 million sales in Q3. I don't know how impressive that is for them, but let's see. The business model itself is unsustainable. Any manufactured collection hobby will eventually just die down. Doesn't help that there has been no innovation in the line for the past 5 years. They flooded the market. Pops are basically the next Beanie Baby. This is the most undervalued company on S. Sad times. Falco has become The Walking Dead. That's why you just buy one pop and use it for decoration. Collecting these for value was never smart. Yep, yep. I've been trying to get rid of my collection for years. So, yeah, they don't even look good. Like, look at these goofy like models. Like, just look at it. They all look the same. Like, if it wasn't for like the names on the boxes, you would never know like who these characters were actually supposed to be. Like, yeah, just a generic zombie character, but this is supposed to be The Walking Dead, like tank zombie. I don't know what that is. I don't care about The Walking Dead because I'm not I don't know a teenager from the 2000s. Like, who cares? Okay, who cares about The Walking Dead ever? It was always slop. But yeah, it just it's really glorious to kind of see like the downfall of this trend, especially being as someone who's gotten into like the higher quality, better made uh Amiibo format, which is clearly has actual innovation because you can kind of see like just how much the quality has increased over the years. You can see like how the Air Riders ones are like Transformers. You get to see like all sorts of cool things like that. Like I am very very happy about is what the future of collectibles is going to be. Now that Funko Pops is out of the way and people can maybe start looking at like higher quality collectibles like Amiibo, like some of the Fire Emblem stuff, some of the Nintendo stuff that exists. Like there are so many better alternatives. I don't understand how Funko ever became relevant.